Hey guys, let's see how you did on exit slip EDay1. Number one, classify the figure. So first of all, we want to determine how many bases this figure has. Well, since it has a point up at the top, it's only going to have one base, which makes this a pyramid. And the shape of that base with all those right angles, the most specific we can get is that it's a rectangular pyramid. So again, one base, and that base is a rectangle, so it's a rectangular pier, if I can spell, amid. Okay, how many edges? So the edges are going to be those straight segments. So 4 edges for the base, and then 4 edges connecting each of those vertices up to that common point. So 4 and 4 makes 8. How many vertices? So those are all the points. So we have the 4 points at the rectangular base, and then the one common one up at top. So 5 vertices, and again, just one base. All right, let's see how you do with number 2. So naming the 3D figures. So we always want to look for the base, which is a polygon or circle. In this case, our base is a circle, and there's only one of them. So this is going to be a cone. If there were 2 circles, it would be a cylinder. Since there's only one circle, this is a cone. Okay. Letter B, we look for those polygons. 2 of them is our hope. That would be congruent. And in this case, the 2 polygons that are congruent are these 2 pentagons. And since there are 2 of them, it's a prism. And so this is going to be a pentagonal prism. Okay. Another key here that tells us it's a prism is that all of the lateral faces are rectangles. That will always be true in prisms. The lateral faces will be rectangles. All right, nice. Let's see how you did with the last 2. So here we have to draw and label the figure ourselves, and draw on them, and then label with all of the dimensions. So letter A is a rectangular prism. So first thing you want to do is just draw a rectangle. It could be any size, any shape. It could be vertical, horizontal, however you want to do it. Now on the iPad, it's nice because you could just like copy and paste it to make sure that they in fact are perfectly congruent, or you could just draw another rectangle out kind of like up and over. Again, it's kind of nice. We can, with the iPad, we can kind of like move it around if we want the prism to be longer, shorter, you know, we can kind of mess around with that. But basically you just want to draw 2 congruent rectangles. And then we want to connect those rectangles. So I'm going to connect each corresponding vertice. So the top left, the top right, the bottom left, I'm going to connect these with dotted lines, because if you were looking at this box, you wouldn't be able to like see through the box. And then this one. In fact, with the whole, like, you wouldn't be able to see through the box, we could probably make this dotted and this one dotted as well, since we wouldn't be able to like see through it. But here's a rectangular prism. Now the length and the width and the height. So here, the length and the width are going to be the length and the width of the rectangle. So the length and the width, we'll say 2 and 3. I know they're not like perfectly drawn to scale. The height, though, most likely refers to the distance between the 2 bases. So this is the distance. The segment that connects the 2 bases represents the height of the prism. The height of the prism is 5. Okay. Now again, depending on, with rectangular prisms, it's really hard since they're all rectangles. Since I drew my prism first with these 2 as the bases, that's why I put the 2 and 3 with these 2 rectangles, and then the 5 with the dimension connecting it. Another way you could have done it is that the bases could have been the top and the bottom segment. So like if you wanted a rectangle, let's do it this way. If you wanted the top and the bottom to be the bases, and then let's see, we can connect like this here, more vertically. The top and bottom, this would be 2 and 3, and then the height connecting the top and bottom would be 5. So with rectangular prisms, it really depends on which rectangles you're choosing to be the base. Now, it doesn't matter which rectangles you choose to be the base in a rectangular prism. Usually what you'll see in class with what we're going to do is we will identify the base for you so everything's consistent. But otherwise, for rectangular prisms, it doesn't matter. For all the other kinds, it does, because the bases will be different shapes. All right, let's try the last one, cylinder. So same idea. We need 2 circles here. And when you're drawing your, oh, I don't know why I created that. When you're drawing your cylinder, we kind of make it almost like with an oval instead of a circle. So you make the 2 circles and then connect. These will represent the heights. We can also put the center of the circle in and the radius, just to identify that. So the radius is 4. And the height is 7. Okay. Another way you might see is that this bottom circle might be dotted this way and then solid here, because again, you can't really see through the cylinder. All right, guys, I hope that helps, and let us know if you have any questions.